Good morning, everyone. I am Eden Marie Cargo, and I'll be discussing the content and contextual analysis of the Declaration of Philippine Independence with Robert de Guzman. But before we get started, let's take a quick pretest to see how well you know this particular primary source. You must pay close attention since you only have 20 seconds to answer each question. The correct answer will appear after 20 seconds, so check your paper thoroughly. Let's get started.
In this video, we are aiming to understand the text or artifact, recognize the important individuals, groups, or events associated with the text, and analyze its impact and significance into our country. Without further ado, let's proceed with our discussion.
The Declaration of Philippine Independence, also known as the Acta de Proclamación de Independencia del Pueblo Filipino, is a historical document that signifies the Philippines' proclamation of independence from Spanish colonial rule. It was officially proclaimed on June 12, 1898 between 4 and 5 in the afternoon in Kawit, Cavite, Philippines by General Emilio Aguinaldo, who later became the country's first president. June 12, 1898 was chosen as the date for the declaration because it held significant symbolism. It was on this day that Filipino revolutionaries first raised their flag and played the national anthem Lupang Hinirang in Kawit, Cavite, symbolizing the Filipinos' aspirations for freedom.
The Declaration of Philippine Independence was written by Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista, popularly known as Don Boshong. Bautista was born on December 7, 1830 in Binyan, Laguna, and died on December 4, 1903. In addition, he studied law at the University of Santo Tomas, graduated in 1865. Furthermore, Don Boshong became a member of La Liga Filipina, the Cuerpo de Compromisarios, and La Propaganda. Moreover, in 1898, Bautista became the first advisor of President Emilio Aguinaldo. And now let's proceed with the next presentation, or should I say, next slide. On June 12, 1898, at Aguinaldo's residence in Kawit, Cavite, the independence of Philippines was declared. The subject of the Declaration of Philippine Independence is the proclamation of the Philippines as an independent and sovereign nation. The declaration formally asserts that the Filipino people are no longer under the colonial rule of Spanish and have the right to self-governance and self-determination. It marks the Philippines' emergence as a separate and independent entity on June 12, 1898, free from Spanish domination. The declaration's subject matter is the sovereignty and independence of the Philippine nation. Ngayon naman, magkaroon tayo ng trivia. Sa kaalaman ng nakakarami, ang nagwagayway ng watawat ng Pilipinas ay si Emilio Aguinaldo. Ngunit ang totoo niyan ay si Don Bosyong ang nagwagay nito. Ako din nung una, ang akala ko is si Emilio Aguinaldo yung nag-wave ng flag kasi siya yung nag-proclaim ng Independence Day sa ating bansa. Pero through researching about sa Declaration of Independence Day, napag-alaman ko na si Don Bosyong or si Ambrosio Bautista pala ang nag-wave ng flag. At ang nagtahi naman ng ating pambansang watawat ay sina Marcela Marino D. Agoncillo, Lorenzo Agoncillo at Delfina Herbosa de Natividad. Tinahin nila ito sa bansang Hong Kong and during the proclamation of Philippine independence, the national anthem was played and it was composed by Julian Felipe.
And now, let us proceed to the intended audience. First, the international community. The declaration was intended to inform foreign nations, especially those involved in the Spanish-American War, such as the United States, about the Philippines' claim to independence. Yung mga Filipino leaders natin ay umaasa na makakuha ng international na pagkilala at suporta para sa kanilang self-determination. Spain. Ang dokumento ay nagsilbing formal na anunsyo ng pagtatapos ng Spanish colonial control sa Pilipinas. Although the declaration proclaimed the Philippines' independence from Spanish rule, Spain was also one of the intended audiences. Filipino people. While the immediate proclamation ceremony in Kawit, Cavite, where the declaration was read, had a relatively small audience of Filipinos who were present, the document was meant to be disseminated throughout the archipelago. It aimed to rally the Filipino people and inspire them to continue supporting the struggle for independence. Hinangad ng author or ni Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista na magbigay ng pag-asa at inspirasyon para sa mga tao na lalo pang lubaban para sa kanilang karapatan at kalayaan. Future generations. The declaration was also directed at future generation of Filipinos. It served as a historical record and a reminder of the sacrifices made by their ancestors in the fight for independence, as well as a symbol of national pride and sovereignty. Obviously, isa rin tayo sa intended audience dahil pinag-aaralan natin ngayon ito at nagsilbi itong reference para sa atin upang magkaroon tayo ng kaalaman or idea sa mga pangyayari during the declaration of the Philippine independence. In essence, the Declaration of Philippine Independence had a dual purpose: to declare the Philippines as an independent nation to the world at large and to galvanize the Filipino people in their pursuit of freedom. It was a significant step in the nation's history, marking the end of Spanish colonial rule and the beginning of the Philippines' path to self-governance.
In this slide, we are showing the emotions that the Filipinos citizens felt during the colonization of Spanish. Patriotism and nationalism, defiance and anger, gratitude and recognition. The declaration is infused with a strong sense of patriotism and nationalism. It conveys the depth, love, and pride that the Filipino people had their homeland and their desire to establish an independent and sovereign nation. This sentiment is driven by a profound emotional attachment to the Philippines. The declaration also carries an element of defiance and anger toward Spanish colonial rule. It enumerates the various injustices and abuses suffered by the Filipino people under Spanish control, reflecting a sense of indignation and outrage. While the declaration primarily focuses on asserting independence, it also expresses gratitude to those who supported the Filipino cause and the recognition of the sacrifices made by the revolutionaries. These sentiments reflect a sense of appreciation and acknowledgement. It is important to note that while the declaration as a legal and historical document may not explicitly convey emotions. The sentiments of patriotism, determination, defiance, and gratitude are evident in the words and context of the document. These emotions played a significant role in motivating the Filipino people to rise against colonial oppression and fight for their independence.
Why is it established? What is the purpose and relevance of it? First, communication of intent. It was a formal declaration of Filipino revolutionary leaders' intention to govern themselves. By publishing the declaration, they sought to communicate their intent and desire for independence to both the Spanish colonial authorities and the international community. Next, inspiration and unity. Inspire and unify the Filipino people in their struggle for independence. It served as a rallying point for Filipinos from various regions to come together and support the cause of nationhood. Upon reading the document, mararamdaman natin ang determinasyon ni Bautista na impluwensyahan ang kanyang mga mamamayan at palakasin ang alyansa ng mga Pilipino para sa proklamasyon para ipagtanggol ang ating bansa. Historical documentation. The Filipino leaders ensured that this pivotal moment in their history was documented and recorded for posterity. It became an important historical record for the country's fight for freedom. Kaya naman alam natin at pinag-aaralan natin ito ngayon dahil kay Bautista. That's all. Thank you for your time and attention. Together, we can make a meaningful impact in history. Now, let us proceed to the last part of this report. Again, you must pay close attention since you only have 5 minutes to answer per slide.